Greetings and salutations. I hope everyone's having themselves a mighty fine day. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell down so the ghost of the 13-month series doesn't get you and you can stay notified. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I am still a little congested, a little stuffy. My throat is still hurting, but I'm getting better by the day. So sorry if I sound a little weird, but I actually got a question for me to kind of hone my focus in and just kind of speak about the Traumerei and Gustang fight of the great chess match. In hindsight, in retrospect, having time to digest it and kind of my thoughts about it, and I guess a little bit of the aftermath of what could happen. And I thought to myself, that's cool. I did touch on it a few times, and obviously I talked about it in my season 3 review, which you should go see, and my great chess match arc review, which you should also be watching if you didn't see that already on my channel already. Tower God playlist, go peep that. And without further ado, let's get into it. And I do want to start off by saying I did find it disappointing. I did. You have to understand something, and I want to make this very clear. There are outside factors that affect people's enjoyment of the story. And I don't like when people try to downplay this. I get some of you guys want to pretend online you're these unfeeling robots that nobody's opinion in the community and fandom and no capacity has absolutely no effect on your enjoyment or how you kind of consume the story. And I just don't think that's true. I don't think you guys think you're as unfeeling and as whatever objective and impartial and unbiased as you think you are. So I want to start with that. I do think no matter what, the literal contents of the story does not change no matter how people perceive it or talk about it. However, it can affect your enjoyment. If you are with a group of like-minded individuals that love something, you're going to enjoy it more, as opposed to being with a bunch of people who are super sour and negative on it. Doesn't make the manga or game or whatever you're watching any worse or any better, but your actual experience is affected. So let's keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, I am not a new Tower of God reader. I've been here since the first season. I've been reading blog posts, covering this series for 7 years, reading it weekly, having discussions, and seeing him hype up certain things includes the family heads. I had very high expectations for a family head clash. Now, you can make the argument your expectations on the story does not mean that SIU has to meet them. That's fine. But I'm just giving you my perspective and point of view and where I'm coming from, contextualizing the situation. I expected great and big things from this fight, and I've been waiting over a decade to see something like this happen. Thus, I was disappointed. This is not the worst fight ever, or the worst thing that's happened in Tower of God by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of great things, a lot of great techniques, a lot of great moves, a lot of great lore and world building implications that came out from this fight. And then the flashback and the backstories that we received with the family heads were fantastic. I loved all that. I was disappointed by the destructive scale, the techniques to some degree. Some of the really OP ones, the hacks ones like Blossom's Flame and Traumerei's Disconnect in its 3D version and whatnot, those were really cool. I really like that. But ultimately, I was not expecting a family head battle to be this lackluster. I even would argue I thought some of the things that Tiara did with the pen were more impressive to me, but on her tier and her level. Because I do believe they both create the exact same thing, the exact same function. I create a shark with the ability to bite through all metal. Gustang's will always be more impressive, superior, stronger, faster, whatever the case may be. We have Dumas versus Bam, and we have White versus Bam. Those are terrible. So this is not the worst fight by any stretch of the imagination. I just expected more, and I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm not going to hide it. I didn't hate it. It's not the worst. It's just like, oh, I like so many fights that happened, way more than this, and that includes the little scuffle with Loose-like and Mazzino. I found that to be far more enjoyable than when I got overall with this. But again, it's really the ancillary things that were connected to it, kind of Traumerei's character coming to an end. I think he was a great antagonist. Some of the lore implications related to Eurasia and Blossom through Gustang, and then seeing a lot of the backstory stuff was really good. And I actually am excited to see what's going forward, because with this, Adori came through and slashed Gustang's whole platoon and family and whatnot. So I do think that the direction we're going in is going to be very fascinating and interesting. And I do think a family head is going to create some type of power gap and vacuum where other people will fight for supremacy or fight to fill that role. All very dope and exciting things. But if you go, Naya, that fight itself, does it stick out in your mind? Will you highlight it a lot? Like, no, like I already have a hard time remembering a lot of details about it. And I really thought Gustang's imagination could have been better. And I wanted to see a little bit of more impressive anima control from Traumerei. Though he did do a lot of things that I liked that I found impressive. But I found that disconnect was the most dangerous thing that he had, and that wasn't related to animals or creatures or beasts. You get what I'm saying? So ultimately, I was just kind of like, it served its purpose. It's fine. Like, it did its job, I suppose. And that's the most amount of praise that I'm willing or can really give it, as opposed to me being like, oh, this is the greatest thing, or being like, God, trash, mid, garbage. No, I'm nowhere near there. I'm kind of firmly in the middle, like even keeled, and that's kind of my general opinion on it. I know I've spoken about this fight a lot week to week and in my season 3 review and my arc review, so I really don't want to harp on any longer than I have to, so I'm going to end it here. But that's basically the gist of it for me. It did its job, I guess, but I'm cool on it. Like, I definitely will say this. I think the next clash with like irregulars, great warriors, family heads, or super duper top tier combatants that we get will eclipse this. I am under the impression that these two could be the weakest family heads. And maybe if this was like IDA Han versus Kunadwan, it would have came out and been displayed as a lot more impressive. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and have yourselves a mighty fine day. Like, subscribe, share the video, comment, tell all your friends. I really want to hit 10K. That's all I want to hit by the end of the year. 5 digits. And I've been trying to do it for like the last 2 years. I need y'all help, man. Y'all gotta subscribe, y'all gotta comment, y'all gotta boost me in the algorithm, and you gotta let YouTube know that I'm here. Share it, put it on Reddit, wherever you gotta do. Discord. Thank y'all. Shout out to the Patreon gang. Shout out to the CBLs. That is the certified BAM lovers. But could the next tier, the Priests of Fire, be the real CBLs? That's brilliant, gang, till I die. And a huge, humongous shout out to the tier 3s, the 5th Sen Gods. Shout out to Johnny Rogers, Catan, Lucky Roo, Muzaka, Revenant, Scobe, Simi, Wolf General, Zyler Scotty, Big Abdel, Agrona Vitera, Childish Nujabis, Gray, and Huey. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.